Welcome to the Space Out Podcast, where we chill out, chat about, and space out. I'm your host, Luca, a.k.a. LucaTony, and today is the very last, very serious episode of 2020 for the podcast. Next episode is going to be a lot more chill, going to be a lot more personal, but today we're going to be talking about probably the most serious thing we've talked about on the podcast so far. It's the hashtag Stop DMCA situation. Basically what it is and why it's important, and if you don't know what it is, which a lot of people don't know because of how it has not been very publicized. Like, it hasn't been talked about that much by big YouTubers, aside from on a couple of tweets, as well as a small side note at the end about the deteriorating state of Twitch as a streaming platform, and why more and more I think it's more worth just doing everything on YouTube or Facebook gaming even than Twitch. But first, let's talk about hashtag Stop DMCA. So the TLDR, for everyone to know, I'll go into more detail in just a second, but the TLDR is that Republican Senator Thom Tillis, I think that's how you pronounce his name, added a legislation to an upcoming must-pass Omnibus government funding bill that would make getting a DMCA claim into a straight-up felony, meaning they can and will put you in jail if you play the first few seconds of Rickroll on a YouTube video. So, what does this all mean? Basically, let's start with the definition of an omnibus government funding bill, because I, for example, didn't know what it meant before this situation, and I did research and all that, so it's important for you all to know this. An omnibus government funding bill, as per Google definitions, when I searched up what is omnibus government funding bill, is a spending bill, is a type of bill in the United States that packages many of the smaller ordinary appropriation bills into one large single bill that could be passed with only one vote in each house. So basically, this means that this omnibus spending bill is a package of other legislations from both sides of the political party and from third parties as well, if third parties propose ideas. Usually they don't. But it is a package of all of these legislations all into one legislation in order to ensure that a middle ground is reached and legislation that favors both is passed. So if you can imagine a legislation or a law that a Republican senator would hate to see get passed, and similar legislation that a Democrat would hate that it passed, the omnibus bill is there in order for both of them to pass by coming to a compromise of passing both of them at the same time under one one overarching umbrella legislation. So from what I'm pretty sure you can already tell, there's a big problem with this. There's a little catch-22 type of situation. Other senators are not likely to reject the omnibus legislation bill because it means it would reject all other legislations, including their own. No Democrat would stop this legislation omnibus bill because in the omnibus legislation bill there is tons of legislations for Democrats that they wanted for a long time to get passed. So it's a very weird situation that unless we call it out, that people call out that this is not correct and get a lot of people on board, a lot of senators on board, it is very likely that the omnibus bill will just pass straight through, and it would make Thom Tillis's legislation on DMCA claims being a felony, actual law, actual legislation. But it goes deeper, because you would think that like a Republican senator that is in like his mid-50s, he wouldn't have really that much of a mid-50s, mid-60s. I don't know his age, but I have a picture of him. I don't know exactly. But you would think like, why would he want to pass that type of legislation? Well, it goes a little deeper, because Senator Thom Tillis has also received around $100,000 from multiple music and extremely powerful companies such as Warner Music Group, Sony's music label, and even Disney to pass and push this legislation forward. So what does this mean? Basically, Mr. Senator Tom Tillis got bribed into putting this legislation on the Omnibus legislation bill, which already sounds very, very fishy. Like, it seems like to me a lot of music companies just want this to pass through. Yeah. But let's just wrap this up with what does the legislation as a whole entail, right? Because if we're talking about how it seems fishy, what is the fishiness, you know? So basically, what it entails is if you break copyright law and get a DMCA claim / strike on YouTube, Twitch, whatever platform you're operating, even Twitter and Instagram have DMCA copyright laws and, you know, terms of services that they follow. The government and the police force is within, and like the music companies are within their legal right to ask you to go to jail for a year for breaking copyright in DMCA. The FBI will just come in and knock your door down to take your behind all the way to jail. Kidding. I don't know how it will work, but if you think about it, it's a felony that is easily identifiable since, you know, most of your social media is tied to who you are and your personal account of who you are. And even if it isn't, like, if the FBI really want you in jail, they will look for you. So I can totally see it being possible that just like, you know, we live in this dystopian world where if I get if I play 3 seconds of Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley, I might get put in jail because I don't even know, like I made a meme or something. Like, it sounds ridiculous, and it's ridiculous because it is. I don't know how else to put it. This is a ridiculous legislation. But before I get too into that, let me just disclaim this with a disclaimer. This is my opinion from now on. I believe the DMCA has gotten out of control. I believe that the old copyright model is very, very archaic, and the music labels are the only ones that want it to stay that way, which I still don't understand fully, but like I'll talk about that in a second. Because this the old copyright model of not allowing background music, of not allowing memes and like small changes to a copyrighted material, basically like it's horrible for any other company aside from music labels, right? Because Twitter heavily relies on relatability, relatable tweets and relatability as a whole for, you know, interaction between higher engagement between, you know, its users. YouTube as well, like it's just and like if you imagine covers, right, where a lot of talent is found in like talent shows like America's Got Talent or whatever by doing covers. That is no different than someone making a YouTube cover of, I don't know, the Firework, you know? Like, I don't know, man. This is even detrimental to the music labels themselves, because at the end of the day, let's say I'm playing a song from an artist inside of Warner Media Group. What I'm playing right now, you could eventually like get some of your viewers interested in the song, right? Like if I'm playing, I don't know, Katy Perry song, right, in the background, and someone has never listened to that song and they end up liking it, that's beneficial to the music labels, because that person will then go and listen to that song on themselves. It's free promotion for music and the musical artists, and it'll also include more plays of the music, because a streamer, this is very like, you know, specific thing to streamers and YouTubers, but most of the time they have a certain set of songs that they reuse about like 1,000 million times. I think I have a streaming stuff playlist on YouTube that is basically around 39 copyright free songs And I think I've played those songs upwards of like 1,000 times, both for stream and for myself, because I love the songs as well. So like all of this is just free, like more plays of the music. It's incredible how like on every possible way, this is detrimental to everyone involved. The only reason why I can see this not being not detrimental to the music labels is if they, for whatever reason, like they could make the argument of, well, if they listen to the music in your stream, they will not listen it individually on their mobile device or on their Spotify or whatever, right? But at the end of the day, that could easily be fixed by offering quote unquote creator licenses, the same way you have to, like Sony Entertainment has to license music from Post Malone to put in their Spider-Man movie. Like, so like just make creator license that are like, I don't know, $15 a month or something, or like $5 a month, so that, you know, the masses can use the songs in a sort of like transformative way in order to, you know, like both encourage song sharing and creative work. Monster Cat does this already. Monster Cat is a group of EDM, dubstep, electronic music, and they do this already. There's a service called Monster Cat Gold that you can purchase for a subscription, and you're allowed to use the music that they have in their library on YouTube videos, on Twitch streams, on whatever. It just works. And I feel like the music industry would benefit greatly from it, because if they just make it somewhat cheap, like $5 a month, like a Netflix subscription or something, I am 1,000% sure every content creator under the sun would just purchase it in order to use, I don't know, Firework by Katy Perry, or a Lady Gaga song, or a Billie Eilish song, you know? Like, there's just, I don't even know. I feel like I'm repeating myself 1,000 times. I'm just blown away at how archaic and how, like, close-minded the executives at these companies and Senator Tom Tillis as well, how just unbelievably, like, square-brained they are. It's just, like, this will cause plenty of situations. If this bill gets passed, if this legislation gets passed, it will cause plenty of situations for IRL bloggers, streamers, general content creators, really, where a song in the background, for example, of a shop is played, and it'll get them in jail because, I don't know, the Gap local outlet played a Katy Perry song while I was shopping there on my IRL stream, and it'll, like, the FBI will drop on me in 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, it's horrific. It just doesn't make any sense. Entire platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and more that will eventually come, and more that have existed in the past, just cease to exist. You can't make dancing TikToks, because if you try to make a dance out of blinding lights, oh, whoop, you can go to jail. You can't make meme references of TV shows because, oh, Warner Bros. Or Sony Entertainment saw your meme and now you're going to jail. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Meme culture as a whole is based on grabbing old copyrighted content and making it new. Without meme culture, entire communities would not exist. Megamind, the movie, blew up years after its original release thanks to memes and meme edits. And if it wasn't because of the memes, I probably would not have found out about the movie, and it's probably one of my favorite animated movies of all time. Like, it just doesn't fit in my head how these people see the benefits of the new internet culture, the power that social media and social media influencers have on, like, their platforms, and how they are not using that to promote their music. Like, obviously Katy Perry doesn't need Markiplier or PewDiePie to promote their music in order for it to succeed, right? But smaller artists would benefit immensely if they have a good song, just by, like, it would cause virality everywhere. La 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 from Baby No Money and Y2K blew up because Baby No Money asked his followers, which at the time weren't that many, to make TikTok dances or TikTok memes with his song as the background. And people did it, and it's a song that I think it has like 1 billion views. Like, it doesn't fit in my head how Warner Media, Sony, Disney see all of these things, all of these viral things, and they have, I don't know, Disney makes memes in their Marvel movies, but then they want to take down the ability to use music on content or make it so illegal that you go to jail for it. It's like, oh my god. And I don't know if you can tell, but I get frustrated at this because I also have had my fair run-ins with copyright claims. I talked about it before on another podcast episode. I think I talked about it on my favorite anime ever episode, where I made a review. I made a thoughts, and I made like a theory almost video on my favorite anime of all time, which is Devilman Crybaby. And the entire video got taken down. Like, I can't put it on YouTube. It has a little completely blocked symbol, red eye symbol, because like I used the 5 seconds or 10 seconds of the sad theme at the end, and I had completely unrecognizable blurred out visuals of the anime in the video. That's it. Because of that, no one can watch me sitting down talking about my favorite anime of all time that I spent 3 hours writing the script for, because I included 10 seconds of a song, and I included incomprehensible visuals of the anime. It's just, I don't understand, man. I don't understand. With all that aside, what is Twitch doing right now, though? So, they just had a Twitch town hall, which is basically like a community meetup led by developers of Twitch discussing the future of the platform, which is a new thing they're trying to do, which I applaud them for. A good step. The only problem is that the most talked about thing they're changing is leveling the playing field for harassment policies, which, again, it's good. But we live in an era where streamers are getting, the biggest streamers in the platform are disappearing because they don't have DMCA solution. And all they did for DMCA that they announced in this little panel is that they now added an update for allowing streamers to delete all clips and VODs at once. That's it. And they reinforced the fact that you should use the Twitch platform to listen to music. I can't remember what it was called, Twitch stream, I can't remember what it was called, but basically a Spotify for Twitch copyright free music, which is horrible. I tried to use it. It's a horrendous app, and the music inside it is horrendous as well. It's just so yeah, why am I only mentioning Twitch? Because YouTube already has a system for DMCA that not only deals with the strike without having to take down your content, and if you do have to take down your content, it does it for you automatically, and you can edit it out if you ever need to. But this entire situation for DMCA began as a natural progression of the bans that happened a couple of weeks ago on Twitch. This is only the next step forward that music companies are taking, because Twitch didn't have the DMCA situation figured out like YouTube had for past 3 years. And what I can't wrap my head around as well is that Twitch is owned by Amazon. And Amazon could easily create a content creator license, since they have basically every song under the sun in their Amazon Music division. You can download Amazon Music and buy any song you ever want to. In my head, it would be such an obvious workaround that I don't understand why it's not been there for years already, to just create a, like I said, a Monster Cat style license for content creators that you pay a little bit higher amounts for the music you listen to on Amazon Music, and you can stream it all on Twitch. And it would make them so much money, because just restrict it all to Twitch, and YouTube is kind of fucked because they have to make a workaround for it, right? They have to sort of compete with that. And Amazon could just keep it only for Twitch, and I'm so frustrated at the situation. This episode has been a bit of a disaster, not gonna lie. But like, I really needed to talk about this and really need you all to understand that hashtag stop DMCA is a big issue. Just imagine I'm streaming, I'm live streaming. I live stream basically 2 times a week, right? And I live stream playing myself play Minecraft or play Cyberpunk or whatever. Imagine if in the game, a song in the game is not copyright free. Like, let's say, the best example is actually Spider-Man Miles Morales. Spider-Man Miles Morales has music from Jaden Smith, right? Will Smith's son, and he's a musician. And that song is licensed and copyrighted. So I theoretically cannot put that song anywhere. I can't play Miles Morales right now, because it would mean that if this legislation were to pass, instead of the most I would get is me having to hand over my money on the YouTube video, I could go to jail for this. It's that serious. If this passes, I could go to jail for this. If you make a TikTok dance using, or a TikTok meme using Baby No Money's La La La, you can go to jail for it. Like, if you make a meme or a music video of a little kawaii girl, the usual like super cringy TikTok dances, using blinding lights, you can go to jail. Thank you so much for listening through today's episode. Please, if you live in the United States, let your voice be heard, because this impacts not just you as, if you are a content creator, but everyone, even if they're not a content creator, even outside of the US, as well, since YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, well, TikTok not really, kind of ish nowadays, but many more companies are all American-based companies, meaning that posting in these platforms, regardless of where you live, will get you in legal trouble, because you're technically affiliated and working under these companies because they're paying you. But with all of that said, thank you for spacing out.